Welcome everyone to 7 Minutes or Less, talking about the shows you love and want to get into. Today we will be talking about Outlander Season 4. Okay, so here's a recap for you all if you have either seen this show up until this point or have not. Bear in mind, spoilers abound for the first 3 seasons, and we're going to lightly touch on some spoilers on Season 4. Keep in mind, it's Season 4. If you haven't watched this show up until this point, it's almost natural to kind of talk about these things because the progression of plot is definitely here. Season 1, Claire, a former World War II nurse, and Frank, a historian, visit Inverness in Scotland for their honeymoon. Claire is sent back in time to the 18th century Scotland where Claire meets Jamie. Jamie, who is a part of the rebel Scottish Highlanders, take Claire under the impression that she's a spy, but that trust is soon developed over Claire's usefulness. A British soldier, Blackjack Randall, that is after this rebel group, who just so happens to be Frank's ancestor, forces Claire and Jamie to marry out of necessity. Jamie and Claire, though, end up falling in love with each other, bringing you this epic love story to its height when Jamie is captured and tortured by Blackjack Randall, only to use what is available for Claire to rescue Jamie and then set off for France. Season 2. Most of this season is Claire and Jamie trying to prevent the Battle of Culloden by backtracking funds coming from King Louis XV in Paris. This fails miserably, and Claire herself is sent back to her time to live out her life with Frank while the battle commences with Jamie involved. Claire can only assume that Jamie dies in the battle. Other subplots include Blackjack Randall screwing up Claire and Jamie's lives even further. Claire and Jamie meet a pickpocket named Fergus that help out with their endeavors. Claire's pregnancy issues are definitely a big one by this point, but she does wind up pregnant before leaving to her current time. After Claire returns to be back with Frank, 20 years later, Frank dies, Brianna is all grown up, and Claire finds out Jamie survived the battle. This season ends with Claire realizing this is an opportunity for her to return. Season 3 has the first half of the season showing Claire trying to figure out how Jamie survived and where she can find him. In that first half also shows what Jamie has been up to in that time, befriending a governor named Lord John, who spares his life before getting executed after the Battle of Culloden, where he works at an English estate, follows an illegitimate child, Willie, and later on gets married to a character introduced in Season 1 named Leary, who already has 3 children by this point. So imagine the drama that Claire finds herself in when she finally finds Jamie to restart their life together. Season 3 not only cleans house in characters, but show Claire and Jamie surviving the circumstances throughout the time that they are together as much as they are apart. This is not without consequence, where Jamie loses a lot of people that they loved, or even had to tolerate. Dead. 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 Hell, even he's dead. Thank God he's dead. By no means is it a reboot to the story, nor a finale, but these deaths of each character bring about newer characters that have either been set up since Season 1 or 2. So here we are to Season 4. Jamie's friendship with Lord John becomes higher and more integral in Season 4. Brianna eventually finds herself falling in love with the descendant of Dougal MacKenzie, Roger Wakefield. To complicate matters further, Brianna runs off to the stones that sent Claire to the 18th century in the first place and hopes to save her mother from an unknown fire that is foretold. Our younger characters are a bit older, helping Jamie and Claire out in various matters, but have no idea that Brienne is piecing together the clues and running into older characters that help her find them. That is, with Roger in tow, following right after her. The end of Season 3 saw fit to have Jamie and Claire stranded on America after a ship crash and during a storm. So, to which Jamie and Claire agree to settle there and hope to maintain a life. Season 4, in a way, can be sort of described in one word. Conventional. A lot of story has been set up and has sort of paved the way for our new characters to cross through, leading to coincidental meetups and convenient plot contrivances. Yet, This show does not revel in, look how cool this is, this character has met this character from season 1, but bring real consequence once the story reveals itself beyond its charming facade. Outlander has continued to be the strongest show I've ever seen. It not only cares about the characters and the stories that come with it, but the environment that it takes place in. Everything matters. Its details are extravagant and yet close to frustrating as you witness certain moments of happiness and wonder why any of this is important, only for you to witness the bad and it becomes an enraging moment over the elements and materials having no other way to give you a feeling of what happens to these characters. You can argue that these things have happened in a time period where a lot goes unpunished. A lot happens that make matters worse and complicated, but Outlander presents it in a way where you don't have to just witness the bad and give it its shock value, though you can throw to that consensus that that's just how it was back in those days. They give you the good and the bad, whilst the story grows and progresses in ways that become out of the main character's control. But very rarely did you see a prolonged sequence of happiness, joy, moments that stop and say, hey, you will need to see this because not only is it important, you're less likely to see it again in the same way. Jamie and Claire have been through this a lot in the last 3 seasons, so the writers know, from Diana Gabaldon to the writers of the show, thought it was time to keep Jamie and Claire grounded in the matters that keep them in the here and now, letting the newer characters go through the trials and errors of harsh living conditions of the newfound America, especially what happens to Brianna in some cases. Roger doesn't fall short of such terrible circumstances either, as he's sent through the grind and becomes a questionable figure in a lot of misunderstandings. Within the first 6 episodes, there was a lot of setup, build-up, and wonder where this season would truly go. But eventually it didn't feel that way, but there was a huge slow burn to watching our characters settle upon the newfound land and moving forward in conflicts they come across or made themselves. By the 7th episode, as I said, everything comes together and things feel truly earned. There is heartache, tragedy, and game-changing events that take place that convey extreme touchy subject matter, especially in the first half of the season. Outlander stands to being this perfect show for me. Each season is an extension to the last, with flaws that can only be seen as nitpicks. The show withstands the test of time. Outlander comes in and gives you the storytelling that thinks very little of reward and gives you bold storytelling. I am anxious to see season 5, especially where everyone ends up by this season. I'm gonna give Outlander season 4 a solid A. Alright guys and gals, Outlander, have you seen it? What did you think of it? If you have anything to say, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to my channel, check out my TV shows and movie reviews. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything. And with all that said, I hope you all have a fantastic and wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.